Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and today's free agent show is presented by my good friends, Panda Sups. If you're looking to get into better shape, if you're looking to be healthier now that it's the new year, head on over to pandasups.com. Use code SUPERFOODS to save 35% off on their brand new products, the greens. Yes, I know a lot of Raider fans, y'all love your greens, right? It's a different kind of greens. It's going to help you be a lot healthier. Your body is absolutely going to thank you. So what I'm going to be doing here on today's show is breaking down all 26 free agents that the Las Vegas Raiders have. We're going to start on the offensive side of the football and then work our way to the defensive side. Let's first start at the quarterback position. The only free agent on this list is Marcus Mariota, sitting behind DC. There's some other big-name QBs, or I shouldn't say big-name, other quarterbacks that are set to hit the free agent market like Jameis Winston, Mitchell Trubisky, Andy Dalton, Teddy Bridgewater, and maybe the Raiders decide to go ahead and bring somebody in to back up Carr. But as it stands right now, Mariota, he might be on his way out. So what do y'all think the Raiders should do here with Marcus? Do you bring him back, type R for re-sign, or if you're like, you know what, Marcus, appreciate the last 2 years, you go ahead and let him walk. If it was up to me, I'd say, Marcus, I appreciate you. You were a fun name to talk about on the Raiders Report, but I am going to go ahead and type my L for let him walk. Let's go to the running back position. You got Jacobs, Kenyon Drake. They're both going to be back next season. Alec Ingold, you guys can see, is a restricted free agent, and then Peyton Barber is a free agent. Now, you're going to see some asterisks. You're going to see double asterisks. That's how we're going to tie all this in. Barber was signed to the team because the Raiders needed some extra running back depth. I mean, let's face it. He was good for one big-time game, which I believe was, like week 4, and then didn't really do too much. You have Jalen Richard, who is another running back that I have a lot of respect for. He's a really solid pass-catching back. I didn't expect the Raiders to end up keeping him on the team. If it was up to me, I would let Barber go, and I don't really think that Jalen Richard is going to be in the silver and black next season. You better bring back Alec Ingold, though. That guy's absolutely glue, and he's one of the best fullbacks in the National Football League. Let's go to the wide receiver position. You need to add a lot of talent, no doubt about it. Your free agents on the list here are Zay Jones and DeSean Jackson. Now, personally, I believe Zay Jones, even though he's coming off a career year, 47 grabs, 546 yards. He should be your wide receiver 4. Most teams, he's going to be a wide receiver 4. Now, would I bring him back? Yes, I do like Zay as being a good glue guy, but it has to be at the right deal. Another name to keep in mind is DeSean Jackson. Jackson was designed to be your, I'm going to use Henry Ruggs' replacement. Obviously, that was a tall task to be able to ask anybody to do because of the speed that Ruggs had, but Jackson was a fit here and there. The Raiders did not play him all that much. Also, at the age of 35, I don't personally believe that Jackson's going to be back next season. So what do y'all think here? If you had to keep one receiver, type ZJ for Zay Jones, type DJ for DeSean Jackson. I think in overall talent, I think Jackson is still actually a better talent than Zay Jones, but Zay is a better fit with Derek Carr as a quarterback, so for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and type ZJ. It's time now to go to the tight end position, and this is a very important position with Josh McDaniels, who has already said you're going to see a lot more 2 tight end sets in the National Football League, which definitely makes me excited because I want to see Waller, I want to see Morrow out on the field more, but Derek Carey or Nick Bowers, both scheduled to be free agents, both guys were definitely more of Gruden picks. If I had to pick, I think Carrier is more likely to come back than Bowers. But at the end of the day, you're going to see the Raiders bring in more tight ends. Sorry, I'd be absolutely shocked if the Raiders brought in Rob Gronkowski. Now, today's show is presented by Panda Sups. And a lot of times people are like, well, what do the greens do? Why are they going to help your body? I am excited to say that not only are Panda Sups greens back in stock, which you guys can get at pandasups.com. Make sure you use code SUPERFOODS for 35% off. This stuff tastes absolutely amazing, and believe me, I know. It's difficult sometimes to get veggies in your diet. If you're a meal prepper, this is a great way to go ahead and get those veggies in. They also just launched a brand new flavor. It tastes unbelievable. It's orange. I got some here with me. Pandasups.com. High quality supplements for 35% off. If you're wondering what the benefits of the greens are, you're going to get joint and brain health. I actually wake up every single morning, get a cup of water, take 1 scoop, throw it in there, ready to get my day going. There's probiotics to help get all that junk in your system, get it out of you. You get vitamins and minerals, Believe it or not, there is caffeine or healthy caffeine, some B12s in there, which gives you energy. And then you got earth-grown nutrients. So it's no non-GMOs, like it's all the good stuff. Vegan-friendly as well. So if you guys want to get healthy, your body's going to thank you. I promise you that. Go ahead, pandasups.com. Use code SUPERFOODS. Let's go to the big guys on the interior offensive line overall. These guys definitely should go ahead and use some Panda Subs. In terms of the free agents, you got Simmons, Richie Incognito, Nick Martin, Jermaine Eluemunor, and then Brandon Parker. The Raiders obviously are going to make a lot of moves on the offensive side of the football. You might decide to bring back Parker as a depth piece. Jermaine Eluemunor is another player that I could see the Raiders bringing back because of his connections with New England. But Nick Martin, not 100% sure on him. Richie Incognito is going to end up retiring. And then for Simmons, not likely to end up coming back. Another player to keep in mind, Jeremiah Patati. Patati is the name that I couldn't quite fit on the graphic, but also definitely a name that I could see the Raiders bringing back. Now, it's time to go to the defensive side of the football. And if anybody out there bleeds silver and black, if you're a diehard Raider fan, if you guys could, go ahead, like the video right now. I can actually see who ends up liking the vids. On the defensive side of the football, a lot of names here, right? You got Hankins, you got Quinton Jefferson, Solomon Thomas, Darius Philon, Gerald McCoy, and I'm going to ask y'all a question here in a sec, but first, if you want to make sure that you get more free agency videos, we're going to be doing a who the Raiders should target at the wide receiver position. Who should the Raiders target at right tackle? Defense, there's going to be a lot of reports. There's going to be a lot of stuff that happens in the offseason. To make sure that you get free Raiders free agency videos, you know what I'm going to tell you. Underneath the video, yep, right down there, you're going to click that sub button. You're going to turn on that notification bell. That way you never miss a thing. And I don't know about y'all, I think free videos, pretty damn good deal. Now, in terms of the 4 or 5 players who are Raiders defensive linemen that are scheduled to be free agents, here you go. You got Johnathan Hankins last season with 38 tackles, tackle for loss, no sacks. Quinton Jefferson, 47 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. Solomon Thomas, who, kind of a funny story, I actually saw Solomon Thomas this weekend. Him and his girlfriend were staying at my place that I live. They were eating at a restaurant, and I actually thought I saw him. I was like, that's a really big dude. Come find out, check out his IG story. And it's like, oh, shit, that was definitely Solomon Thomas. Darius Philon, 27 tackles, 5 tackles for loss. And then Gerald McCoy played in only 1 game. He unfortunately tore his ACL. So out of those 5 players there, let's just say Ziegler, McDaniels, they come up to you like, all right, man, you can only re-sign 1. You can only re-sign 1 out of those defensive tackles. Who would it be? Would it be Johnathan Hankins? Would it be Quinton Jefferson? Maybe it's Darius Philon, McCoy, or Thomas. If it was up to me, I actually think I might consider Solomon Thomas because of the cheapness of that deal. Quinton Jefferson was a Gus Bradley guy. Darius Philon, Gus Bradley guy. McCoy's getting up there in age a little bit, plus he's got the whole PED thing going. Johnathan Hankins is a little bit more of just a run stopper, though. I would be curious to see what he would be able to do in certain defensive fronts, especially if they go to a 3-4. But I'm actually going to go ahead and say Solomon Thomas because I think it's going to be the cheapest deal and most bang for your buck. Now let's talk about the linebacking position. You got KJ Wright. He's going to be a free agent. Denzel Perryman, he's got 1 year left. But with the emergence of Divine Diablo, I am curious to see what Las Vegas decides to do with Nicholas Morrow. And on top of that, even though Kukowski isn't a free agent, he's going to be a player that is more than likely not going to be on the Raiders. So when you have KJ Wright, Nicholas Morrow, I love Morrow. Morrow was a player I was really excited about when the Raiders re-signed him at $4.5 million last offseason. I was like, this is a steal. Here's the issue. He got hurt, I believe it was like on August 19th, and didn't play the entire season, which is hard to figure out what exactly you want to do with him because he was the Raiders' best linebacker back in 2020. Now, sure, that wasn't saying a lot, but he really upped his game in overall coverage. He started to tackle better. I mean, look at the numbers there. 78 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 9 pass breakups, and a pick. Then you got another player, KJ Wright, who absolutely positively signed with the team for the simple fact of he was a Gus Bradley guy, showed a lot of leadership, and as it went on, KJ was much better than Corey Littleton. Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask me, well, what can we do with Littleton? Littleton, because you decided to move his contract back not once, but twice, I believe the number is $19 million. So if they were to cut Corey Littleton, it'd be a dead cap hit of $19 million. So you're obviously not going to do that. But in terms of KJ, in terms of Nicholas Morrow. I don't know if either player is going to come back, but I could see the Raiders really trying to make a pull for Morrow because he is a Raiders guy. I know the organization likes him a lot. He works his freaking tail off, was once a UDFA. I think if you had to pick between those two guys, it's more than likely Nicholas Morrow comes back than KJ Wright. Now, to stay up to date on everything going on around the Raiders, give me a follow on Instagram because, believe it or not, you're probably actually going to get news and rumors on my IG story before you're actually going to get it on the show. It's just simply the way video works. It's a lot easier, believe it or not, to put a tweet or put something on my Instagram story than it is to make a video about it. So just to make sure you guys never miss anything, if you want to ask me questions on IG, slide in the DMs, and I promise you during the off season, I do a lot more Instagram live. So those are all the reasons to hit me up on Instagram or Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. Now let's look at the defensive back unit here, which is definitely, you're going to see a lot of changes, I believe, in this unit. You got Trayvon Mullen, who you know is going to come back. The big name on this list is Hayward. You got Roderic Teamer, who is a exclusive rights free agent. Keisean Nixon is a restricted free agent as well. Desmond Trufant is a free agent. Dallin Leavitt is a restricted free agent. So you're going to see a lot of different guys. I actually think that Roderic Teamer, Dallin Leavitt, Keisean Nixon, none of these guys are people that I personally would bring back. They were more fits for Bradley. Keisean Nixon, not so much. Desmond Trufant was another player who I liked who stepped in here and there. Brandon Faison, he signed a 2-year deal, so we'll see what ends up happening with him. But the concentration is on this guy, Casey Hayward, who played as a top 10 cornerback in the league, had 46 tackles, 1 pick, 9 pass breakups. He was the biggest reason why, that's maybe not true, why the secondary improved. The other reason is because Max and the defensive line, they were getting after guys without blitzing. But Hayward essentially was taking away one side of the field, which obviously helped out this team because for as long as I can remember, the secondary of the Raiders was a major, major weakness, right? Basically since he's probably been the best cornerback on the team since Nnamdi Asomugha, and that's definitely going back quite a ways. But at 32 years old, absolutely a Gus Bradley dude. If you bring back Bradley, here's your number one priority in free agency, to end up bringing back Casey Hayward on a nice little deal. But if you don't bring back Bradley, which I do not anticipate the Raiders do, then that's where this question comes into play. Will Casey Hayward be a Raider in 2022? My hope is that he is, because I like Hayward a lot. I respect the hell out of him. I thought he was a hard-working dude, came in right away, knew the defense, was really able to help some of these young guys. But I also know this. If you bring in Casey Hayward, then you can't go out and get other players. And I am very curious to see what happens with somebody like a guy like J.C. Jackson, who is an absolute stud cornerback who's played with New England. If I had to pick between Hayward and J.C. Jackson, I would actually pick J.C. Jackson. He's a better player at this current point of his career, but I do have major, major love and respect for Casey Hayward. Why for yes and for no, will Hayward be a Raider in 2022? All right, y'all, so now what we're going to do is just going to go through all 26 because I know there was a lot of information there. So here's all 26 of the Raiders free agents, and the way that this list is made is based on how much money they made last offseason. So Nicholas Morrow, he got made the most at $4.5 million. If you made it this far in the video, please, again, don't be afraid to hit me up on Instagram. Don't be afraid to hit me up on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. We're going to be doing a lot of videos like this the entire offseason, whether it's going to be around certain guys. Like if they re-sign Casey Hayward, I'm probably going to end up going live. I mean, it's going to be that big of a signing. If they sign other big-name free agents out there, we're going to be making videos. So to make sure that you never miss anything going on with free agency the entire offseason, subscribe, and believe it or not, we're going to be pumping out tons of content. So out of those 26 free agents, okay, and I know we're still going through them, out of the 26 free agents that are scheduled to hit free agency, saying that out loud sounds kind of weird, out of all of those players, which one do you think is the top priority? Now, Damon Arnett's down here, and Damon Arnett's still technically a Raiders free agent, but they're going to be able to go out and get conduct detrimental to the team, so you're not really going to have to pay his deal. And, again, he just got released yet again because he's a dummy. But who's the Raiders' top free agent to resign? Out of all the names, my vote is for Casey Hayward, and that's just really the way that it goes on the defensive side of the football. On the offensive side of the ball, there's definitely not as many big names. Like you can look at a Zay Jones, Potentially, you look at the running back position if Kenyon Drake is 100% healthy. I think Solomon Thomas is definitely somebody to keep in mind. You could even throw in the name like Nicholas Morrow. But out of all 26 Raiders free agents, who do you think is the top one to go ahead and be like, you know what? This is a guy we got to go ahead and bring back in the silver and black?